Well, I thought I'd do me a video because my onions came early. They came delivered this morning instead of next week. But look at that. My sunflowers are getting so heavy at the top. My sunflower stalk is starting to lean over. I'm not sure whether I should stake it up or not. Sometimes it's better to leave it. But more and more of them things are opening up. And isn't that pretty? Oops. All of those sunflowers on that one stalk. And there's more opening. That's not all of them yet. All the way down the stalk. So that is pretty. I'm definitely going to save seeds from that this year. But what I came out here for is, like I said, I got my onion seeds early. So I'm going to go ahead and plant me some onions. And I've decided to turn this thing around. I'm going to put them right over here in one of the tubs, like I got my garlic and my Egyptian walking onions. You know, we planted garlic in this one, and I come out here and filled it up the other day because I did buy some more garlic. But I got to go get my troll. You know me, I'm never usually completely 100% prepared. So what I'm going to do now is just look at those buckets, they're full. But I'm just going to basically come over here, and I don't need that in there, so that might be something good to put on my sunflower. I don't know. I'll think about it. But I wanted to come in here. You know, I cut my pepper plants off, but I left them in there, even though I cut them off just in case they survive, but I don't think they will. Get some of this over here out of the way. I mean, some of it will go turn under. Some of it won't. But that is some rich dirt right there where I built the tote last year. And I got this thing just caked up. But you always have to loosen your soil. And that's just so the roots have something to grow in. But as I said, I turned up all my soil, got some of the stuff out of it that really don't need to be in there right now. And I'm going to put a little bit of garden soil. Well, it's not really, it's organic potting mix, all purpose. And I'm just going to put a little bit on the top like I did my other coat. Because I don't have mulch right now or compost to put in there. And this has enough nutrients, I guess, to get the onions to growing and get them to producing. I'm going to try to put my red ones in a section. Let's see how many I got. Some of them are kind of dried up, but most of them are okay. Which it probably works out good because, like I said, I don't usually get red onions a whole lot. I use more yellow onions than anything, and I don't know that I ever bought the yellow ones. Maybe once in a while. But usually it's the yellow onions that I get. So I'm just going to put them in there just like I did the other ones. Just barely putting them under the dirt. I don't want to put them too deep. But I want to put them deep enough that they're going to have some good roots. And you want them a little ways apart so they have room to grow. At least a couple of inches. Oops, don't want to put that one in that way. That's upside down. Yeah, you want to make sure that point, so you can tell that's the bottom. And this is the point. That's the top. You always want the top pointing up. So it looks like I'm going to have about a half a tote full of the red ones. I got a lot of yellow ones. Well, there's another red one. I can get hold of it. It's a little one, but hey, it's going to grow. That little one right there. It's a little one, but it grows bigger just like the rest of them. So we're going to stick it in here. See, I mean, I got some sprouts coming out of these. I'll get my white ones. Because I think I got more yellow ones than I got white ones or red ones. So I'm going to see if I can dig out all the white ones. That's a yellow one. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Especially if all the outside of them. See, that's yellow. See if I can dump them in this other envelope. I might be able to see them better. Yeah, there's another white one. There's a white one. A white one, a white one. Got a white one there. And I think all the rest of them in here are yellow. So I might be able to plant maybe a whole tote of yellow ones. But at least give you 2 or 3 inches between them. Because you want to have big, pretty onions. And I hope these do good. We'll see which ones do the best, and that's what I'll plant next year too. Put that one in here. Trying to miss rain just a little bit. I didn't realize we were going to even get rain today. But there, I got half a tote of the red and half a tote of the... Just going to lay that on top. It'll break down. Now I got to decide where I want to put this other one. You know what? Let's see. I'm moving my stuff, y'all. Just bear with me. But yeah, I got my garlic, red and white onions, Egyptian walking onions, my greens, of course. If that one there was empty, I'd have planted the yellow onions there. Kept my yellow onions and my other onions all together. But I think I'm going to plant them right here. See what you can see. And this one, I've got some greens growing here, but they're to the side. They're in a little bucket of their own. But I think this one tote may hold those onions. Then I'm going to put a little bit of this potting mix at the top. Because I didn't have enough dirt in my pots or my totes, that's for sure. And what nutrients are in this potting mix will help my onions grow too. I don't know, I may have way more than enough to put in here. May have to go to another one. Some of them onions are almost big enough to eat now. These may be the great big ones when they're full grown. I'm going to lay them down, I think. Stagger them out so I know where I want to put them. Yeah, I'm going to have to use more than one tote to put all these in, I think. Because I don't want to put them too close together because then they won't be able to grow. Now this is the first time I planted onions this time of year, other than Egyptian walking onions. But the Egyptian onions do real well, so I'm hoping these will do too. Now I can probably come right over here, and that'll work out right good. I mean, I'll have onions in the two middle totes. My only concern is this dirt might hold too much moisture in here for my onions. Even though I got it well drained, I mean, especially since it doesn't have enough dirt. That's the reason I'm adding this potting mix. It'll help it drain a little bit more. I don't know, I might take this out. That'll help a little bit. Use that pot for something else. It's mist and rain, y'all. I guess I'll be getting this done just about in time. I got quite a few onions in here, but I think I can get them all in this pot or tote. Up there, here, here, here. I'm just spacing them out, y'all, placing them to see where I can plant them. I think I'll have plenty of room. may even have one little white one in here. That's okay. We'll let him stay. And I'm just pushing them, like I said, just so the top is just under the ground or under the dirt. You don't want your onions sitting in water because the bulbs will rot. So, you know, the roots need to get water, but they don't need to be submerged in water. And putting that potting mix at the top will help them drain real well at the top, but yet let their roots go down to get water. And loosening the dirt up like I did allows the roots, when they start to grow, to move real, you know, more freely. Made a mess up here. I made a mess. My hands are dirty. I really didn't want to wash them in compost tea, but oh well. It's better than having mud. But there you go. I've got my yellow onions. And see how my greens are still growing? My camera's getting wet. Around. My camera's getting a little wet because it is starting to rain. Trying to get all this stuff in my hand over here so I can move it. Don't want to leave it laying out here. But see how well those greens are growing? And my walking onions, look at that. And I'll have to come back and get those stakes later. But my purple, or red, what do they call it? It's a giant kale, but it's like Swiss chard. But it comes in different colors. And that's just another one of the colors. It's a deep color. So I'm coming over here and I'm going to put my gardening utensils in my little holder thing. Whoops. I didn't get that one put in there right. I want to put it this way so it'll not fall through. See, put the teeth through the little bars, that way it doesn't fall through. I'll put that right there for right now, and I'll put it in the garbage later. But look at this, y'all. That bean plant is just determined. It's going to grow, and look at the pretty blooms. Aren't they pretty? That's as pretty as any flowering plant that I've ever seen. And it's the noodle beans, foot-long noodle beans. I think that's what that one is. But it's a healthy plant. It's the only one that survived. And look at this. It's putting out a shoot this way. You need to go this way, not that way. Get up over there. Maybe it'll grow on up the stalk. I mean, up the trellis instead of to the side. Yeah, I'm proud of that. I know it's not going to put out enough beans to do anything, just one plant, but hey, I'm tickled to death that it survived. I just wish I had more of them out there that survived. And I'm still waiting on that tomato to ripen. And these over here, I don't know if they will. The poor vine's starting to die. I may have to just pick them and put them in the house. Let them ripen in the house. But there's my collards. All of them look like they're living and they're rooting. That one's starting to grow a little bit. That one's looking good. They all look good. They all look like they're trying to put down root and grow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 9 tree collards for next year. If they survive the few freezes we're going to fix and have. Because I know we're not over freezing yet. It's not even January. Yeah, and see, I still got to put, I layered it with dirt. Now I'm starting my layering again. I've got my plants that I pulled or cut. I'm starting to put table scraps up there. And then I'll line it again with leaves and then more dirt. I think I put cardboard in there. Yeah, I did put some cardboard in there. But look at that. Still getting peppers. So, the plants want to grow. It just depends on if you got the conditions for them to grow in. And look at that. The poor plant's about gone, but it's got peppers on it, and I really need to pick them. This one does too. But they've been good plants. I mean, they survived the summer months, and then they started producing the best they could at the end of the hot season. So I'm hoping this coming summer is going to be a lot better. Let me raise the legs up on this thing. It keeps catching everything I pass by. Now, poor rose bushes are still trying to bloom. I mean, they are blooming. Yeah, I'm definitely going to save those sunflower seeds, and I'm going to plant me a lot more of them next year. That was just 1 or 2 little seed that I put in the ground, the very last thing. Not knowing if they'd even come up or not, but that one came up and it loves it, so definitely going to plant more of those. I don't know if I locked my shed door or not, because I don't know if I didn't know if I was going to use all the potting mix or not, but I did. So let me run and see. That way I don't have to come back here later and lock it. Yeah, the ground's all wet out here. No, I didn't lock it. In fact, I left the door open. I'm going to have to get out here and clean out my shed again before I take all my Christmas stuff down in the yard. to where I can store it away for another year. But there's a whole clump of grape tomatoes down there. I don't know if you can see them. But right there is a whole clump of grape tomatoes. There's enough in that one clump for a salad. And those poor tomato plants are still putting out blooms. They want to produce bad. My squash plants are producing. Look at that. If this weather would hold off for a little while longer, I'd have me some squash. But I know it's not going to. But it just shows you, you plant something, it wants to grow. If it doesn't grow, it's not because it doesn't try. More peppers. Because it really wants to grow. My mums, that one's looking real good. It's about ready to bloom again. And I don't know, my hollyhocks, I don't think are going to bloom. But I think that is a perennial. I think if I leave it in the pot, it may come up next year. I'll find out. Because isn't that a big plant? Oh my gosh. And it's in a pot, in that half barrel. It would have been beautiful if it just would have bloomed. And there's little Buddy. That's where he loves to sleep, on nice weather, or when it's not freezing cold, or if it's not steaming hot. That's where he likes to be, right there. He's up off the ground, he's in a soft bed, and he can see everything going on outside. He just likes being outside. Christmas tree there. And see all my rose bushes, well, the white rose bush and that one right there that we planted is still living. The rest of them died off. Yeah, I'm going to leave this stuff, this flour, and I think I'm going to start fertilizing it. Because it comes up every year. I mean, I've pulled it completely out 2 or 3 different times, and it comes back from the seed. So I'm going to leave it from now on. I'm just going to let it grow, let it multiply. And if it wants to, it can fill this whole rock bed. Because see, it's spreading down here as well. Right there. Because I'd rather have that than to have the weeds that will grow. And I need to clean my walk up right there. I got weeds growing. Look at that. December, y'all. And there's that one. It's trying its best to put out tomatoes. Trying its best to. I'd put it in the greenhouse, but I know it's not going to do any good to put it there. I put tomato plants in the greenhouse last year, even with a heat light, and it did not stay warm enough to keep the tomato plants alive. So I'm not even going to fool with it. And see, I've been picking these little tomatoes as they ripen. Little grape tomatoes. Been producing right along. And I need to cut these moonflowers off just while I'm out here and I see them. Well, not the flowers. I need to cut the pods. Because there's a pod right there that I was going to get the other day. And I didn't. Because see, it's cracking open. And it's getting ready to drop seeds. And I think there's one over here. Yeah. And I think what I'll do is just throw them out in big rock garden out here and let the seeds spread. Then come up on their own next year. Just kind of break them open a little bit. Just throw them out there. Let the rain and nature do the rest. Look at the greens and the marigolds growing there. And I got a sunflower. Look at that. There's a sunflower. I wonder if it's like the one back there in the garden. And there's these. They're still just as pretty as they were the day I got them. I didn't have enough for that little pot back there, but I had one for each pot that was here, except for the littlest one back there. But they all live. That's pretty. I mean, it's beautiful. It'd have been so much pretty if I'd have had all this fixed the way I want it, but no time and no money to do all that. It takes time to do everything, so. Just like wanting to thin some of these out. Well, not thin them out. I was going to get some off the edges. I'll pull a little bit on this edge away from the rose bush and pull some out along that edge toward the rose bush and plant them down at the other end where that rose bush died. Because I don't think it's ever put out a shoot. Not that I've seen, but like I said, I'm leaving it there in hopes that if any part of the root is alive, it may put out a new branch. You never know. And the tomato plant coming up over there trying to live. Right along with my greens, my peppermint, and my marigolds. Marigolds are pretty. And they do help keep pests away from your garden. And the marigolds way down there in the corner of the yard. In that pot, look how they're blooming. They're looking good. So with that, I'm going to end my garden tour and my little onion planting session for today, because it is starting to drizzle too hard to be out here. My camera's all wet. My tripod's wet. I'm getting wet. So I'm going to wish y'all a good day. Have a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, and I will see you on my next one. Bye now.